Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and you're seeing me with a new microphone. Now, I just want to talk about something. I just want to talk about immigration, or emigration, or migration, and how it is in other countries. So I want to start off with immigration here. There's a lot of people that actually immigrate to our country. And one of the reasons being is that we are cheap. Our country is very cheap to live in, and the prices here are cheap as well. That's one of the reasons why foreigners live here, or Makati expats exist, because of the cheap prices around here. And I don't blame them. I mean, who wouldn't want to live for like cheap? Now, when we talk about immigrating, we think about going somewhere for a better life. And, it's not bad to do so. The only thing that's bad is when you do it in an illegal way. And it is reasonable on why you're doing this, but it is not good that you are immigrating illegally. And look, I'm all for being against illegal immigration, because they're not being monitored. Maybe they're not even looking for a good life. They're probably just gonna do their crimes over here. And what I want is people immigrating here and going through the process, through the process of being a Filipino citizen, through the process of being a true Filipino. And when they become one, I will be very proud of them, because they have been part of our society. And that's how I view immigrants. Immigrants are good people. They just want to find a better life somewhere. And even though our country is so imperfect at the moment, these immigrants have found something good in our country. We may have bad government, we may have very arrogant politicians, but these immigrants looked through all of that, and we have to thank. I don't even know if this is the right thing to say, but I guess we have to thank them, that they looked through our imperfections, because they moved here, and they also contribute to our economy. So yeah. But I want to talk about immigration in other countries, especially in white or Anglophone countries. I want to talk about immigration in the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and a bunch of countries in Europe. You see, immigration is very, very prominent in those countries, especially in Europe. There's a lot of illegal immigrants around those countries, and the reason being is that they want a better life, and that is very understandable. But you still have to go through the right process. But it's also understandable why they couldn't do the right process, because of they're war torn countries. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to adjust this camera. And that's understandable. Everything about the situation is understandable, which is why when we spot an illegal immigrant, it's either we deport them if they're doing crimes, or we treat them and give them legal stuff as a legal immigrant, if they're looking, or if they're, what we call this, genuinely looking for a better life. Now, what I don't like about these Anglosphere and European countries is that the right wingers have taken over, the minds of vulnerable people. They've put these fear-mongering tactics in them, saying, these immigrants will take our jobs. These immigrants will do this, will do that. These immigrants, yada 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 yada. Well, guess what? We have immigrants here in our country, but they have never taken our jobs. And this is a fear-mongering tactic, I stand by my word. I believe what they're trying to do is, just turn their country into a racist one, even though they're trying to deny it. But very obviously, when they deny it, they're not really denying it. It just really, makes them more suspicious of being a racist and white supremacist. And what I don't like is that these right wingers are in countries with indigenous peoples, like Australia and New Zealand and Canada. Well, actually, I haven't heard one from Canada yet, but let's say, America, the United States, Australia, and New Zealand. There's these right wingers there who are white politicians. I mean, conservatives. Yeah, conservatives. They're called conservatives. They're white, and they want a white Australia and a white New Zealand. But they don't think about the indigenous people in their country, the original people, the original landowners. And what I don't like is that they are erasing the culture of those indigenous peoples in their country. And it's just, they call the people woke just because they think about the indigenous people in their country. I believe it's not woke. It's about just looking back at where you actually came from. Well, I guess it is, I don't know, quite woke. I don't even believe in this woke thing. I think it's all BS. There's no such thing as woke or asleep. Well, I guess there's something as open-minded or close-minded, I guess. But I don't believe in the word woke or asleep. But why do you want to try to erase something from your past and make the whites, just dominant in your country? I remember New Zealand, them trying to pass a bill where they will take off the special treatment of the Maoris because it will cause discrimination. If the Maoris want to be treated equally as with the Pakeha or the Pakeha, which is what they call the white people over there in New Zealand. Their excuse. Okay, I'm gonna rephrase this. Their excuse was, if the Maoris want to be treated equally, or if the Maoris want equal treatment, then they should have the treatment that we do with the Pakeha. And it's just something, this is so suspicious. It's really so suspicious, because them removing the special advantages of the Maoris, I believe it will cause more discrimination. They're just using this as an excuse to push their white agenda even more. This is what I don't like about Anglosphere countries with indigenous peoples in them. Australia and New Zealand, you have indigenous peoples. You have Aboriginal Australians and you have Maoris. But yet your politicians are doing these types of things. Your politicians are calling the people woke just because they acknowledge the original owners of the country. I have to tell you something. You are born from immigration. Your ancestors are immigrants. You came from British people. You came from the British. So I want to remind you right now that you are not the original landowner. Well, I might offend some people here, so I'm not going to say it, but you are born from immigration. You come from immigration. So if you are against immigration, look back in history. Look back at history. Who immigrated first? Was it the Indians? Or was it you? Was it your ancestors? Look back in history. Who immigrated first? Was it the Indians or was it you? And who should we treat rightly? The Aboriginal Australians or you, immigrants? stole lands. Who should we treat rightly? The Maoris or you Pakeas, who stole lands as well, who waged war with the Maoris? And I believe, well, I don't think, well, it's not even confirmed yet. There have there haven't been any theories about this, but I think that some of these countries don't even care about who enters the country. I believe they just care if the person is a Muslim or not. That's what I think about some of these right wingers in some of these European countries. I think they don't care about which immigrants go in, as long as they're not Muslim. Because I have seen Islamophobia before, and Italy just recently put a ban on the niqab or the hijab because apparently it's erasing Italian culture. That's very nice of you, Giorgia Meloni. You know, but if I were to go there, you wouldn't shame on me or anything because I'm a Catholic. I'm a Catholic. I'm a Baptist. I'm a non-denominational. I don't think you would even shame on me. Well, if I guess you're too racist, you probably will since I'm an immigrant. But I just think that it's mostly Islamophobia that these right wingers are pushing, and anti-immigration as well. But sometimes I think that they don't even care about who comes in or comes out. They just care about if the person is a Muslim or not. You know, it's just Islamophobia. And if you're just too much of an extreme right winger, it's Islamophobia mixed with racism. So yeah, don't be like one of these guys. Don't be conservative. See, I feel like I'm a mix of both. Well, actually, I don't know which ideology I'm in, but I don't really care about ideologies. You see, I want to preserve our country's culture, while also letting in some modern twists. Some people are scared to lose their culture. They say that these group of people are erasing their culture. But I believe that these people could adopt your culture, while also holding on to theirs. You see, we have Chinois. Chinois are Chinese Pinoys. These people are in Binondo. They may be Chinese, they may be doing Chinese traditions, but they are Filipino. They are also doing Filipino traditions. They have adopted into the Filipino society. So if you think that they're erasing our culture, no. They've been here for hundreds of years. They've been here since the Spanish were here. They haven't erased a single bit of our culture. I'm still here, speaking my language. Nandito pa ako, nagsasalita pa ako ng Pilipino. Kung na-erase man ang culture natin, edi dapat nagcha-Chinese na ako, di ba? Dapat yung accent ko parang naghihingi ng tawad, di ba? But no. Nagsasalita pa ako ng Pilipino. So kung iniisip mo na yung mga immigrants will erase your culture, then you're very wrong with that. Because I can blend in with your culture. I have studied your culture, and I know very well what to do. As long as I keep studying it, I can blend in with your society. I know you don't care. I know you don't care. But I'm telling you, I am not one to erase someone's culture. I respect your culture. I love your culture. And to the immigrants in this country watching this, you are welcome in this country. As long as you respect our culture. And as you integrate yourself into our society. And as long as you also adopt our culture. While also keeping in touch with, your own culture. Please, don't ever lose it. That's your roots. But of course, you still have to learn our culture. Because it's our way of living. And I don't believe that immigrants will erase our culture. I have seen Indians around here in Las Piñas. The British fears that Indians will take over Britain and then they will speak Punjab or Hindi and everyone will be like Khan or Singh. That hasn't happened yet here. No. I've seen Indians around Las Piñas. I've seen Indians go here for studying. But guess what? They have adopted Filipino culture themselves while keeping in touch of their own. I've seen white people around here. I've seen French people, American people, Spanish people, Finnish people. And guess what? They weren't erasing our culture. They were here to contribute to our society. So if you think that immigrants are erasing your culture, you're very wrong for that. Well, maybe, the lousy, loud, obnoxious immigrants, maybe, kick them out. But immigrants with genuine intentions, you should keep them in, because they will contribute to your country. But if they are loud, obnoxious, and doing, criminal stuff, then it's good to kick them out. That's the ones that you will kick out, not every immigrant. What you are doing is generalization. See, I will only kick out Chinese immigrants if they are linked with Pogo. I will only kick out Chinese immigrants if they have not been through the legal process of being Filipino. I will not kick out Chinese immigrants if they're genuinely here to find a good life. I will not kick out Chinese immigrants if they're here to be a Filipino. I will not kick out Chinese immigrants if they're here to follow our rules, listen to our government, and respect us. I will only kick them out if they have, these pogo operations. I will only kick them out if they're loud, obnoxious, lousy, lazy, useless. I will only kick them out if they have not contributed to our society. And I will only kick them out if they are illegal. Yes, illegal. I'm putting some laws here that these right-wingers haven't even considered, because all they see is hatred. All they see is dominance. That's what Hitler did back then. Europe said never again. Never again. But what you are doing? Yes again. That's yes again. That's yes again. And the fact that you're doing this while being in relations with Israel, the irony. I mean, you people are the same, You like, excluding other minorities. But it's just so ironic. Also, I want to talk about anti-Semitism. It doesn't apply to Jews. It doesn't apply to Israelis. It applies to everyone within the Semitic peoples. Semitic peoples being, the Maltese, the Jordanians, the Lebanese, the Omanis, basically everyone who speaks Arabic or Semitic language or Hebrew. And I also want to draw the line between Zionists and Jewish people. See, if you want to express your hate for Jewish people, no, maybe don't do that. Maybe do that somewhere, because Jewish people aren't really fond of Israel, What these people are that support Israel's wrongdoings are Zionists. Jewish people are very different from them. So if you hate Jews just because of that, then reconsider your choices. You're being like Hitler, man. You are Hitler. If you hate Jews just because of that, or if you mask that reason for your hatred of Jews, oh boy, you should really get a reset in your mind. You should get a lobotomy or something. But yeah, we really have to set some boundaries around here. Again, to summarize this, immigrants will never erase a culture. I will never erase your culture. Someone like me, je parle français e io parlo italiano. I can integrate myself into your society and act like a Frenchman, act like an Italian, act like a European. I can act like an Aussie. I could do something that an Aussie would do. I could imitate you. Am I still raising your culture? No, I'm not, because I'm imitating you. I'm contributing to your society. Right? I am not erasing your culture. If I imitate you, just think that I'm contributing to your society. Because I imitate you, I love your culture. So, no, immigrants don't erase the culture. And please, oh my gosh, just please, if the immigrants are loud, noisy, obnoxious, and useless, that's the only time that you will kick them out. But if these immigrants have contributed to your society as a whole, don't kick them out. Don't kick them out. Don't kick them out. Because if you kick them out, well, I guess I might kick out your people that's coming in here. Because they just might be loud. They just might be obnoxious. They just might be lazy. And they just might be useless too. I'm sorry, but that's the reality. Not every one of your people is perfect. And they might be erasing our culture as well. We don't want them, erasing Filipino culture. Anyways, that's a video for now. Hopefully you guys learned something new. And I hope that you guys have an opinion about this. And if you do have an opinion about this, just comment it down below. And if you're a person living in one of these countries, if you're a person within one of these political spheres, and if you're a person who supports all these things I just said, I want to hear your opinion. Honestly, I don't really care if you hate on me or bash on me. I'll just listen to you. I just really want thoughts from people, because I get zero comments in these types of videos. So I want full opinions from people. Just please, even if it's a hate comment, it's fine. Just talk to me, alright? I just need to hear your opinion. If it's bad, if it's good, I don't care. Let me just hear it, okay? I'm all ears. Anyways, that's it. Goodbye.